sucker. It's so metal. Yeah, so everybody needs something. I'm getting ready to go on a little adventure, a little excursion away.
Is it just vacation or is it a working vacation?
There's a little bit of work involved.
I don't remember the last time I didn't do both.
Well, I mean, we're both entrepreneurial individuals. Of course, there's going to be some work involved.
Yeah.
I may be sitting on a beach, as you can see by my Zoom background, but it's. I don't know, just like the last minute, everybody's like, I need this. And I spent all of yesterday getting everything to a point, and I told all of my customers and all my clients, I am done at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
If you need anything after 6 p.m., you can fuck yourself.
Yep.
No, I did not put it like that. I was much nicer than that. I said, fuck yourself, please.
That's right. Yes.
So, and
if you would.
If you would, dear sir / madam.
Welcome to 2 Shots and a Royalty Check, brought to you by Venmo, Your Money, Your Move, and Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst. Let's get back into it.
Fuck thyself, please. And so, I got it. I got everything done. I got the masters laid out. I got some instrumental tracks out to some people that really wanted to work on some stuff. And I was like, I went to bed. I had me and the lady had an old fashioned, old fashioned, a hot toddy prior to the night times. Slept, had a great night's sleep. Woke up excited. She's got a big rock show tonight. It's all fun and games. And I was like, and all of a sudden my email has exploded with agents and clients going, I need this right now. I need to stick by my guns on the do not disturb. Out of office. Sorry, I fucking told you I was gone.
I know. It's the worst. And you could hold your ground, but it could cost you money.
Exactly. And that's the really tough part is, trying to be polite. One of them is regards to an event I'm doing in September, which is fine, but
do you really need it now?
Do you really need it now? Well, I need a list of all your ceremony songs. You have a list of all my ceremony songs. You've had the same list for years, and I add to it and every year, and I send it to you the first quarter of the year. Well, this person wants you to learn 73 new songs. The answer is no.
Well, that's a list for you to send me.
Yeah. Again, it's like sometimes, I love my agents. They work very, very hard. They do great work for me. But occasionally they forget that they do have to do some work, which is saying to customers sometimes, that is a lot of extra work for these guys. And if you would like them to do that, it's going to cost you an extra $1,000.
Yeah, that'd be great. You know what I fucking hate? I hate that? Where I think I've wrapped everything up for the week and I really want a weekend. I've been chasing a weekend for decades. But everyone else doesn't get their shit together during the week. And so they decide, I have some free time and hit me on the weekends. So it's like, I was just thinking about something. Here's blah, 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 blah. And here's a do. And I'm like, it's no, it's Sunday or it's Saturday.
It's Sunday.
And I know that
I'm watching football.
And I may not have to do anything right away, but if I don't, it's stacking Monday so heavy. You know what I mean? My life is very segmented. If it doesn't happen right away, it gets put on a stack, and that stack keeps growing.
Yeah. The outbox or the inbox, gets a little dense.
Oh, okay, so you took some, now you're done with your week, and you decide to put all your shit on me. Yeah,
and I had a business associate years ago saying a catastrophe on your part does not necessitate an emergency on mine, and I kind of think that's a really great way to put it. Which is, if you email me on a Sunday, I am not going to respond until Monday. And if nothing else, the reason I'm doing that is to let you know that you cannot email me on Sunday and expect a result.
Now, okay, but also,
it might cost me money.
Yes, or opportunity. So one of the things, I think I can mention this now because it's past. So one of the things was, hey, would you like to come out to meet Sammy Hagar? And
fuck off, really?
At the Palms Casino.
Yes.
So he just opened.
Yes, I would.
The rock and roll getaway. He just opened this thing called Sammy's Island, a poolside oasis.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
Okay, this is Sunday. that they're like asking, like, just hop on a plane. It's for Monday, by the way.
Oh, well, shit.
Yeah.
Then the answer is,
yeah, but okay, but so, all right, and now most people, if you're listening to this, right, and you'd really want to meet Sammy Hagar, and you'd really want to hang. First of all, understand how this shit works. It's not like it's just me and Sammy hanging. This is clearly, I'm one of many people who've been offered this. Yeah. One of many people who've been given the code to go, right?
Yeah.
And so, but it's a pool party. It's, basically, it's a fucking pool party.
Oh, that sounds
which would be fun, but also kind of, would it be fun? Like, it's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy. It's a promotional thing. I'd probably hang a little bit and talk a little bit, but I'm one of, again, many people. Yeah. And so as cool as it sounds, having been someone who's done this sort of thing before, I also know this is just me by a pool at the thing saying I was at the thing. Like, which is not bad, but that's also $1,000 not bad, right? It's just hop on a plane, go to Vegas, Ubers, food, transfers, tips, get to the hotel, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, it's still going to be $1,000.
Yeah, it's still, and I mean...
And a sunburn.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could always, get that, what's that white, like, sunscreen stuff with the metal shit or whatever it is, zinc oxide.
I call it the powder, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a powder. Oh, no, that's cocaine. Different experience.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't have been, not at this party.
Cabana. Yeah.
Which, by the way, Sammy wasn't even playing. Vic was there, Michael Anthony was going to be there. I'm more excited to talk to Michael Anthony. Sammy, I love Sammy, don't get me wrong. But I would love to just hang with Michael Anthony. But they weren't playing. The whole band was there, not Bonham. But the whole band was there except for Bonham, and there was going to be a tribute band. So this goes right up our alley. Red Voodoo.
Oh.
Which I imagine that Sammy got up and sang with, and I would later find out he did.
Yeah.
I think they all got up and played a little bit with them, but like 3 songs, like 3 Lock Box or whatever.
Yeah.
There's only one way to rock.
I Can't Drive 55. Yeah.
One of those things. So again, it became like a crisis. Like, here's the big opportunity Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you got to make all these decisions. One, searching airlines, and then, as you search airlines, you see that, this Boeing is on fire, and that's, but, I mean, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, is it really worth it to go to, it's a hop to Vegas from Denver, but, it just, so it's one of those things where it's like, that could have been something sent to me on Friday, Stu. That's my point.
Yeah. Friday is Hawaiian shirt day, and so go ahead and wear jeans and a Hawaiian shirt if you'd like. Yeah. I agree with you, but here's the thing is I'm talking about, that's different for me. Like, the opportunity, I'm going to try and figure that out. That doesn't stress me out, and if I can do it, great. If I can't do it, who cares? But, when somebody sends me a message on a Sunday and says, I need 23 instrumental tracks and I need them now.
No, I totally agree, yeah.
The answer is no. Yeah. I don't believe that's respectful of me and my time. And again, a catastrophe on your part does not necessitate an emergency on mine. So, but I don't know. There's this. I think some of this comes from the piece of the discussion where it's like, but don't you love being a musician? Don't you think that don't you just want to do it all the time? It's like, yeah, I like having sex too, but there is a recuperation period in between for me.
The honest truth is, no, I don't want to do it all the time.
No,
I really don't.
That's very true.
That's the truth. And I'm used to this kind of shit with sync stuff because you will get follow-up. You can go, okay, so I was finishing up an Olympic pitch and...
Oh, yeah. What was the response? They gave you a response that was fucking amazing.
For the Olympic pitch... The response was, sounds too Olympics. And it does.
It sounds too
fanfare
Olympics.
And shit.
Yeah. It's the fucking Olympics.
It's the
what
fucking
did they
Olympics,
expect?
Yeah. And, I may throw it over to, other sports content, BBC or something, or...
Yeah.
You know, or international soccer, because it's very epic. It could go right along with Heineken or Champion. You know, like, you know, the Champions League. The champions! The champions!
Yeah.
You know, it's like, wow, you guys really think a lot about this league.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things in sync where you'll do all the prep and have, you know, separated instrumentals and all the rest of the things, the BPMs and all the things, and you're meeting the brief and it's pitched and you do it on time.
Yeah.
And then you'll get like a little feedback and it's like, do you have a 30? Do you have a bump for the 45-second one? Do you have, can you just separate the tag? Like, and the tag in a lot of these things is like it's like sticking the landing at the end. You want like a little tag at the end. And, you know, that kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, you got to open up the DAW and go back in and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of that, there's possibly a hold or possibly money. And, you know, like, it's a money thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm used to it with sync because there is no off time in sync. You know, directors and whomever are working throughout the whole project.
Yeah.
Music supervisors are doing everything they can to lock cues. And then from there you go to editors who are overworked at all time, you know,
overweight
weekends, weekdays, it doesn't matter. Like, you got to get it done. And and in those cases, like, they do need that answered like in 2 hours. Like, that has to happen or you're out. You know, that's
fair. I mean, but that's also part of keeping that machine rolling. It's the
or you think so, at least, yeah.
I mean, with regards to, again, it depends on what you want to do. Like, if I want to, you know, if my job is, if I'm like my buddy Corey Lee out in Nashville, he's writing 3,000 songs this year, and he gets a call from Hallmark, and his whole job is write songs for a living. That's how he pays his mortgage. That's how he sends his daughter to college. That's how he. I don't know if he has a daughter. I'm just making shit up. So, you know, it's how he pays his bills. And so, you know, like that's different. Yes, when you own your own business, there's a piece of this, but it's up to you as the business owner to set those boundaries, is my point. You don't have to answer everything. You get to decide. Just because an email comes in, doesn't mean you have to respond to it. But if it's your decision to respond to it on a Sunday, understand that that's going to continue happening.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is that I know I'm okay with it with sync because I've always known that that's the thing. I mean,
of course.
When you start out doing sync, I almost inevitably, like, your first few pitches in sync are 24-hour turnarounds. You're a replacement guy. You're 16th down on the list, and, you know, they couldn't get this, they couldn't sign off on the rights of this, and you're a one-stop shop. And, like, the whole point is, can you turn it around? And, like, the one that we did from Lexington, that was in 6 hours, something like that we turned around for.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and we turned it around
That's
for
impressive.
Mini Cooper that quick.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
And we got it. And like, that was the thing, is that they were like, but you also, this is also part of, it's kind of like showing up on time for sound check. It's one of those things that doesn't pay you, but it will pay in the future. Like, you know,
exactly.
that person, whomever that is, that the gal or the guy that's calling about it, they have a job to do. And if they see that you bust your ass and you get it done, even if you don't get it, you know, then you know you get the Slim Jim call the next time. You're like, hey, those guys were able to turn it in 6 hours. Let's see if they can do it in 4.
5, in 4 hours. That's the thing. Like, I'm finishing up an EP with somebody right now, and you know, of course, they're like, well, why do you charge more than that guy? And I said, I want you to look at your masters folder. And they went, okay. And so the masters folder has 5 to 7 audio tracks in it. And they're like, why do I have this many? I said, well, you got a wave master, you've got an MP3 master with all of your metadata embedded in it. You have this, you have the separate instrumental acapella, you have an unmastered version in case you decide somebody needs to remaster it later on. And then you have this folder full of all of the paperwork that you need in case that happens.
Yeah.
In case somebody reaches out and says, hey, when you release your song, we heard it, Friday morning at 6 a.m. and we were like, hey, this sounds fucking great. You're doing all the right things. We want to place this and we need an answer in an hour.
Yeah. Well, that's just protection for you, so that the artist doesn't call you back too.
Yeah.
After having done that so many times, we're like, "Hey, do you have the mastered instrumental, or I need this part? What's the BPM on this?"
Yeah, all of that stuff is it's all embedded in
it's in the folder.
Yeah, it's in the folder. And the other thing is you and I have both dealt with this where 2 or 3 years down the road, somebody calls me and says, hey, I've got this opportunity. Do you still have that session you did on the SSL 9000J that, do you have that session saved for 2.5 fucking years on the desk? And the answer is no, I fucking don't. But if you look in your Dropbox folder, you will see and I usually let artists keep their Dropbox shit up for 3 years after, that. I do encourage them to get their own, and so they have access to control of that. But then in 3 years, I go, there's a reminder shows up, says, hey, if you want this still, you have to get it off my server, essentially.
I'm still waiting for the producer at Jason V. Hill to get me Sometimes Always instrumental to get me the session.
Oh my God. The number of conversations I've had with people saying, hey, can you remove the vocals on this too? And it's like, well, it ain't going to be pretty, but I can get close.
Well, and that's so funny is that all these people think that the AI stuff can do that. It can. Yeah, but it's not broadcast quality. A lot of times you can still hear the drums. You can still hear there's bleed,
all that shit.
Yeah,
I read this thing today that said that was one of my. That's an AI quote that I can get behind, which is, "I want AI to do my dishes and my ironing, not so I can do my art and my music, not the other way around."
Yeah.
That's the fucking truth.
That'd be funny.
Will you please iron my pants? I want some serious pleats in the pants.
Put my clothes away after laundry.
Are you a store them in the chair person until such times as you're like, fuck, I just got to do laundry again?
I did last week, and there's some still in the basket.
There you go.
And I know the rule, because I also know how great it feels when you're like, I did my laundry. No. I put them up on hangers. Things are in drawers. Pants are hung. Yeah. But it's like one of those times where it's spring in Denver, and so
yes. Oh, it's so nice out.
It's shorts, it's sweats, it's socks, it's bare feet, it's muscle shirt.
It's all of the outfits.
It's like you got to go through all of it, and then it gets all rainy and shitty for an hour, and you're like, God damn, I'm cold. And then you get back, and you're like,
find my
why
fucking
is it so
hoodie?
hot in here?
I've had to actually run the AC this week, which is unusual for I'm in a new place, so I don't quite know how this place kind of operates. So you're like, I'm still guessing. Do I need the AC? Because I had my last place, in order for it to be temperate, I had to run the AC at 62 degrees for it to be 69 degrees in the house. Yeah. But, here's a new place, and I found that the, let's just say the insulation between units isn't great. So when my neighbors fart too hard, I can feel it in my living room. I heard somebody's phone going off the other day. I could hear the vibrations. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, is that my phone? No, it was the neighbor upstairs. I could hear.
That's like the dude in Office Space, where he lives next to somebody who can hear him.
Channel 34, breast exam, bro.
No, I think somebody'd likely kick your ass for that happened to me. Yeah. We actually put in the AC. We have a window unit because we have these big windows, and it's kind of a classic building in Capitol Hill, and so there isn't central AC.
You use parentheses, or not like quotation marks when you say classic. It's a classic unit.
That's the way insurance says it is, yeah. But no, we put in the... So it was like, God, it's too hot. It was too hot the night before. for just the fan. And so it was like, all right, it's time to put the AC in. It's a little bit early, but okay. So put in the AC, and it was freezing. It was so cold. But I mean, like normally when you put in AC, when you start the AC, it's like on a really hot day, and that's like just awesome. But I didn't use it during the day, so I didn't get in there until the evening. And then I was like, wow, it's so cold. It was fantastic. That didn't help the sleeping. It helped me though. It felt good. I like the AC. It's the first thing I do when I get to a hotel.
Turn it on.
First thing I do. Although now,
I do like the sound.
You been to a hotel recently where they lock it?
No. Hotels they lock the temperature. And you can't go below a certain. Yes, I have seen that.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You can't go under 68? That's not AC.
Yeah.
That's barely livable, Stu.
You're in Scottsdale, Arizona, and it won't go below 68, which means it's 104 in the room.
Yeah. Although I will say that I may be the reason why they've done that. Like, because for all the years I was in hotels, the first thing I would drop my bag and
turn the fan up, turn the temperature down.
Whatever it is, 54, I don't care. Like, as low as it goes.
Yeah. Because when I come back in that night after the show, that's the thing. You like the amount of you get in those routines. I mean, I don't know. Were you lucky enough to have your own room, or were you sharing with your guitar player who may or may not smell like?
By the end of it, we were lucky enough to have our own room, but a lot of times we were sharing. But I think everyone in the band always wanted heavy AC. Yeah, except for one of our roadies. He was like a little crybaby about it. But he was kind of really thin. Yeah, and so it was like, but that's okay. Like, what do you mean? Here's a sweater. You can wear one of our sweatshirts.
Here's a sweater, Philip. It's like towards some of the last like extensive tours when we were doing fly out dates. Yes, I would have my own room. But like I remember those. Like, did you ever do like the tour where the venue had their own house? Yes. Like I did there's a couple of mountain gigs where they had their own, like, there was a lean-to or whatever the fuck it was next door.
Huge quotations on house.
I did do a couple of really nice, like, especially when you go to like somewhere like Aspen or that kind of stuff. They have a nicer band house. It's like that kind of stuff, and it's it's a nice condo. Did you ever do any of the ones like in the casino towns that were haunted because they were old-timey West casino towns?
Oh, God, yes. Like, those are the best, though.
Fucking best. Like, the bed would move on its own in the middle of the night, and you're like, what the hell?
And mountain town ones are the same. Like, the hideout, one of those ones in Winter Park. Yeah, it was like a hotel and a restaurant and a whatever, and then they had a bar in the bottom. And like when we first started doing it, there was like nobody staying there. Everyone would stay at a nicer hotel, and so they just gave the bands the rooms,
running the place,
and like we would stay there like after a Brethren fast. And then, they were just running all of Tackett's bands through there, and so so it just progressively.
Tackett was a booking agent in Denver.
It progressively got worse. So we had our own hot tub at one point. Then you got to know the cook, and he would take you up into the kitchen at like 3:00 in the morning. That's where we stole all the whippets. And we would start doing just taking all the whippets out, and I mean I will never forget. We got so loaded on whippets, and I mean there was like band wives and roadies and everybody there, and we were doing whippets, and I just could not stop saying Blanche Dubois. We're doing like Golden Girls shit, and then so by the time it started out tits, it was awesome, right? Yeah. Then the next weekend we would come, or whenever the next time we would go, it was like once a month. Yeah. The next time we would go, because we filled the place out, like all the locals would go there, and they're like, "Oh, this is killer." Yeah. But so the next time we would go, there'd like not be doorknobs. We're like, "What the fuck?" So then the next time we would go, there wouldn't be mattresses. And then, the next time we would go, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go sit in the hot tub before the show. And, like, the snow coming down, it's going to be so awesome. Yeah. And, like, the manager would tell me, he was like, you're going to get crabs. Don't go to the hot tub. I'm like, that's bullshit. It's hot water and everything. And I'd walk up there, and you take a look at it, and you're like, oh, it's green.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, I will not be sitting in the hot tub.
That is not. I will not be doing that.
Yeah, by the end of it, we played like a Mother's Day or something there.
Oh,
maybe
congratulations.
It was Easter, Mother's. It was around the same time. And so they had like, it was a really nice affair the night before upstairs. Like they had like a closed dining area, and they were downstairs in the like shitty bar with the dogs, and it was fan. That's where you wanted to be. It was sweaty. It was great. Well, then we get up in the morning, and everything is locked. Like, the people that owned the place forgot a band was there, and we couldn't get our instruments. We couldn't get food. We couldn't get out. We couldn't like. Everything.
Oh my God!
And we had to, and this is like 20 minutes away from Winter Park. It was a little bit outskirts, which is why it was what it was. And so, like, we had to like have one of the band wives walk to Winter Park.
Oh no!
She wanted to go for a walk anyway, but so it was like, hey, why don't you walk your ass and go call somebody? But like, no, the phones worked. It went way downhill.
God.
It was an amazing gig. But I love those little. The one in Utah, there was one in Utah for the it's like Dinosaur National Monument Festival or something up there.
Oh, wow.
And they had like a little condo house, and that little condo house like just had like carvings of like different bands and stuff in it.
Oh,
but
wow.
it also came with Band-Aids.
Band-Aids.
Yeah, like 2 chicks. All right, let's move on.
I don't quite know what to do with that. Congratulations.
But they were smart because it's Utah, and so they like knew the band would be too drunk. They knew the band couldn't go buy liquor, and it was like, you're gonna stay right the fuck here so you can play tomorrow. So like, it was only for people that were doing 2 nights.
It's funny, like I did a couple of gigs in Moab. It wasn't that long ago. It was like in the last 10 years. And, the Utah has changed since the first time I played there. But I remember going to the liquor store.
Yeah.
And and it was like walking into a fucking Walgreens pharmacy.
Yeah.
It was an odd experience. There wasn't a guy at the front watching the football, not really giving a shit. This kid's stealing fucking, like Mad Dog in the back, from the freezer. It was an odd experience. It was very
Yes, well, it's state owned.
Yeah. It's like, and there was
Post Malone is changing that.
There was 9 security guards in that fucking thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. You want to get to the question?
Yeah, let's get into the query, if we shall.
There was a Music Biz Association thing in Nashville, a big conference that I did not go to. Please see our previous conferences thing. Bunch of round tables. Guess who won some of the awards down there, Stu? The MLC was one of them.
Okay, so
for best technology and music, the MLC wins.
How's that spreadsheet going?
Jesus Christ. And some of like the best distributors, symphonic distribution. So like, this is not an indie thing. This is just everyone kissing everyone else's ass. That's not to say there weren't good things there, but it's very much industry instead of like, let's help people. Like, I'm just so sick of these conferences that aren't actually helping people who pay money and fly down there that aren't on a corporate account. And they're like, God, I hope I meet somebody. God, I just want someone to listen to my music. I feel for all of you who've gone to conferences. Yeah. Anyway, one of the things that came out of that, I had little birdies down there talking to me. So.
Oh, you're like what's his name from Game of Thrones?
That's right.
Varys and his little birds.
Fitch? Something Finch?
Varys.
Ah, okay, Varys. That was Middle Finch.
No, Littlefinger was the other one.
Littlefinger, that's right.
Which is a reference to his tiny penis. Anyway, carry on.
So one of the things that was talked about, which this is sort of a duh moment, but it's also something that everyone should be clear on. If you are working TikTok and or Reels to get a viral song, And you may get a viral song with sounds. This has happened to clients that I've worked with that signed to Warner. It's happened to producers I've worked with that worked with an artist that got signed to somebody. This was a thing where a lot of A&R from labels were lazy fucks, and they're like, hey, look, this is blowing up. And then trying to find the correlation between a viral song and how many streams it hits is difficult, because you don't really know how many streams it was doing prior to that. And then you don't know the lasting impression of that. So you may have a song or two songs that get like a big bump. And when we talk about a viral hit, we're talking 10s to 20 million streams. Okay, these are really good numbers.
Big numbers.
And so labels would call and basically go, hey, we want to sign, this song, and or do you have other shit, EP? That's when you do the exploratory thing. You try to get the song to see if you can like take it a little bit further, or if it's already going to be a hit for a while. If they see it as social proof and they're like, okay, well, if it's a big hit between people on TikTok, just random people, then it may be syncable. So it's worth taking on the master. It's worth trying to move them into a publishing deal. It's worth it, right?
Yeah.
But what they found out is that it's not really worth it long term. So you sign someone and you're like, okay, you need to turn in an EP or whatever it is, 3 to 5 singles over the next year. That was one of the deals I saw. 3 to 5 singles over the next year, and the label owns it. We're going to have you work with some of our producers. It may be a 50-50 deal on the backside. So like your previous work might be included in that. They may take some of your earlier work, and then they redistribute it with new ISRCs. They keep the count, but the ownership changes on the distribution side. But what they're finding out, kind of in a non-duh moment, is that viral songs don't really launch a long-term project for the most part. Like, a viral song may have hit just because it's part of an anime thing, or something that was like a social moment, or maybe it was just like this just worked, or the right influencer used the song, and it's really hard even for professionals to kind of tell why it worked. But if you're deciding between, understand the plight of an A&R person these days who their job is tenuous at best at a major label. If you're out there slugging it and you're trying to find someone who's coming up in LA and played the Hotel Cafe for 150 people and they have very little streams, but you love their songs and you think they're a good performer, if you're going to choose between that person and someone who just did 15 million streams in a week based on a TikTok, you kind of are picking the TikTok person. They got more heat.
Yeah.
Because it's not a development game anymore. You're not going to develop that gal at Hotel Cafe over 3 albums to try to get the big hit and build her. Unfortunately, that's just, it's just the world right now. So this was one of the conversations that was going on between a lot of social media / marketing versus labels, like what the game is now with viral hits. Now you know where we stand on it. You get 25 million streams, right? If you get that, you don't need a label.
Exactly.
You need to capture all those people and then keep hitting them and see what sticks. Do they like your music, or do they like that song?
Yeah. And that's really, you got to have a backup coming right after that.
Yeah. Yeah, if you see a song starting to go viral, you should probably get into the studio with a producer like the next day and just start pounding it out. See what you can get out as quick as possible, because that's your goal. That's how to do it, basically. Now. Yeah. So what this has led to is labels basically going, okay, well, we can't get those streams up. We can't get those album sales up. Yeah. We think we're going to go back to 360 deals. Because... And here's why. So say Artist A gets 15 million streams on a song based off of a TikTok viral thing. The chances of them getting a brand influencer deal are pretty good, because now they've got a lot of followers. They've got a lot of heat. And they can introduce music as part of it. buy my new Temu shoes, whatever. That's not what it is. But,
no, don't that.
But so if the label owned the 360 part of it, so for people that don't know what a 360 deal is, basically the label owns everything.
Everything.
Has like more than just a piece of everything. So they get they get your merch, they get your tour sales, they get your brand deals, they get your back-end label stuff. Hopefully they know who your publisher is, or you're signed to an affiliate of the label. So that's where it's kind of headed to, is that they want to start ramping up 360 deals. And what this has to do with is the upfront money. So if you're going to give that artist, say, $1 million to $5 million upfront to sign them, and that's a recoupable, and you're going to do basically the 3 to 5 singles and then plus one. And they're basically doing like an EP plus one. It's the equivalent of an album, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 2 EPs, depending on how the first one sells. So if they do that and they see that the artist is going to go out there and tour and stuff, that they want to get a piece of everything. Well, the problem is it's really hard to untie 360 deals. Like when your record deal is over...
Yeah.
What I see a lot of times in older 360 deals is like, oh, you didn't own the graphic on that T-shirt because our people did it.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't like that. Or, oh, we still get 15% of that venue because we booked it. Oh, I don't like that. Or, we get 5% of that booking agent because they did the third leg of the tour and we're the ones who introduced you to it. And so whenever you book with that booking agent, we get the 5% VIG on it. There's some of that shit that's going to be going on. Where do we stand on 360 deals? Where do you stand on it?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Don't do it. It is not worth it. And I think that's one of those. But I'm gonna caveat this.
Unless I'll caveat it too. You go first.
Yeah. Well, if your goal is to have one big smash hit and get the fuck out of the music business, sure.
I look at it the opposite way.
Really?
Yeah, if they're going to offer you a 3 album, like I would negotiate it backwards. I had a talk with a lawyer about this. Said, okay, you want me to commit all of my stuff to you? You commit all your stuff to me. And that means I want a 3 album plus one deal. Unfucking heard of. Not going to happen probably.
Yeah.
But you really want my 360? You can have my 360, but it's going to be over the course of 5 to 10 years. Yeah. Like you want to, if you develop me to go up the scale and you want to get more money, then I want to know that you're going to continue to work your ass off for my 360 money and not just take the fruit of my labor for the 1 year or 2 years that we're in it. And so like if you were able to sign a 3 or 5 album or a 3+1 deal or whatever, that's a 3+1 deal on a full album is going to be about 6 to 7 years.
Yeah.
And at that point, you would have enough juice, fans, notoriety, know enough people, meet new producers, be in the system enough, have sales behind you to where if you got out of a label deal, you'd be fine. Like then you could rebook it all, you could redo it all.
Yeah. But I mean, some of the language since our good friend T Swift made her Taylor's version play.
Yeah.
There's some different language in these deals now with regards to what you own when you leave, if you choose to arbitrate and exit from the deal. So the one thing the point I think we're both trying to make is if you are interested in any type of long-term career, 360 deals may net some results you don't enjoy in 25 to 30 years. Yeah. If you're intent in being in the business for a long time. And again, my point is short term, yes. But like for you and I who have been in this business for 93 years each, that's a long time. Vampires. 10 years in the music industry is not that much time. No. 7 to 10 nights, not that much time.
Unless you're 22.
Unless you're 22, and then but then when you think about if his life does change between 22 and 32 quite substantially, and so one of the things that you're not thinking about right now with regards to these deals is what's the I wanna live hard, die fast, and leave a pretty corpse or whatever the fuck it is, kind of thing. Like that's kind of the mindset when you're in your 20s, you're invincible kind of thing. But when you hit your 30s, there's things that you're not going to be thinking about, and you are going to start thinking about legacy a little bit.
Yeah.
And so the nihilistic perspective of nothing really matters. It starts to kind of drift away, and you start considering what can I do that does matter. And if somebody else owns all your creative energy, that could be challenging.
Yeah.
But if you don't think you're going to write any great songs in your 30s, then have at it.
Yeah, and I'd also say if you're not bullish on a future in the music industry, and there are plenty of people who aren't. And for good reason. AI, dollars, attention span, the loss of radio, the loss of physical. You can look at the music industry in a few different ways. In one way, you could be oh, the future's bright. We're selling a lot more physical. There are pushbacks against streaming. Super fans are going to be taking over. Or you could look at it the opposite way. This all may be gone in 5 years because of AI. Why would we pay songwriters anymore? And then it's only going to be about manufactured artists, and then it's just pretty people and and that's why everybody's selling their catalog, and who cares? You could look at it that way and be okay, well, I want to be an influencer, and I was known as a musician first. Then get your money and get out, and it doesn't really matter to you if you're not going to build a career. But I think it's interesting if you're an independent to kind of understand what's going on in that world of virality, and because I think a lot of you, no matter what we say, you are trying to get a viral hit, and I totally get that. I'm one of those people that doesn't think that you shouldn't try for that. I'm one of those people who, everybody's oh yeah, that's not really sustainable, getting 25 million streams or whatever. You know what? Fuck you. You don't have 25 million streams. I'm going to take the money from 25 million streams and the fans, and maybe the fans are only 1 million of them. Fine. It's more than you got. I think a lot of these people get way stuck up on, oh, well, it's so much better to have 10,000 super fans than 25 million streams. No, it isn't. Get the 25 million streams, then find your 10,000 fans.
Yeah.
There are people that are way against this kind of shit. Oh, it's not going to build a real fan base, and you're just flash in the pan. Yeah, more than you'll ever be.
Yeah.
More than your 12,000 streams of lifetime of your whole catalog will ever be.
Yeah. And so what? So somebody's a flash in the pan. I mean, if that's what they want, fucking yes, great.
Yeah.
Who cares? I think that comes from a degree of, there's jealousy there. There's some, well, that's not sustainable, because it's what? Fucking let them have their fucking adventure.
Yeah, who knows? It may be sustainable. Let me try to work it from this angle.
Yeah.
Rather than the slow burn come up. Because, that's the thing, is then you do have more power. It's funny. I had a snipey conversation with somebody this weekend.
I'm surprised.
They were
I'm
playing
shocked
a show
by
in
this.
a bar, and they were like, yeah, you're not really playing out anymore. Why are you giving so much shit to people playing in a shitty bar? And I'm like, I'm not giving shit to people playing in a shitty bar. And they're like, at least we're out fucking really doing music. What the fuck are you doing? I was like, okay.
Oh shit.
I was like, I'm gonna.
Did you roll your sleeves up?
I'm gonna be really nice here, but I'm going to go ahead and lay down the hammer. And so I did. I was like, you had 200 people who weren't paying attention to your music. My music was listened to by 1 million people this weekend on a TV show.
Yeah.
So you go fuck off with your 200 people.
That was you being nice.
That was me being nice.
Yeah.
But it's okay, let's get into what really matters. What really, really matters. How many people heard your music? And by the way, the only time they cared is when they heard a cover.
Here's a question for you. What age group were these individuals?
40s.
Oh, that's shitty. Because I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about, I remember when I was about 24, right? 24. I am a real arrogant cock.
I remember you then. You're a dick. Yeah.
I was a real dick.
Good looking dick, though.
You were a real dick. Well, so yeah, I was having this conversation. I was at this bar, and it was, I don't remember. It was some metal dive. We're playing some fucking heavy shit. And this dude walks up to me and goes, I really dug your playing, man. You had kind of a Santana thing going on. And it was one of those stages where the PA speakers hung, right at head level where the the fucking, the speakers like on the stage, it was like low enough that they were kind of like pre-line array kind of shit. And this guy, and I turned to this guy, and like the arrogant prick that I was, said, "Yeah, but I can play a little faster than him." And then I proceeded to turn around and hit that speaker full on in the temple and knock myself out. Like instant fucking karma for being a cock.
Classic rock god, gotcha.
That is the Lord our God, Alanis Morissette, slapping me right in the fucking temple and saying, "No, bitch."
Don't you think?
Well, she was God in Dogma, one of the finest Kevin Smith films. The music business changes. Like, I think that there comes this place where we're at this place where we're trying to find ways to continue to be creative, but also support that creativity with a base of passive residual shit from film, sync, streaming plans, production, like all of the things that we're working on, on the side. So yes, I am still out playing shows, and I'm still out playing shows in venues. I just don't tell everybody about them.
Yeah. Right? And I think it's fun, and plus it's good to play live.
Of course. And I did a couple of shows last week, and they were really fucking fun, and I enjoyed myself. But it's all part of the game, part of the thing I'm choosing to do, because it is not a one size fits all career.
No, and that's also, it's good just to play music, and people want to hear music and become a better musician. That's enough or whatever. But don't tell me you playing that 200 person bar is building a fan base and a career. It's just not.
Yeah.
Unless you're 18 or 20. And you're like starting out. But these are people who've been in multiple bands on tour and been on things. They know what the fuck they're doing. It's like, I know that you're having fun, and that's a fun show, and it's great.
Yeah.
But no, you are not slugging it out like the other musicians who are slugging it out right now.
Yeah. The 4 hours you're spending on stage are great for your development as a performer, right? They are. But the other pieces of the business that will generate the revenue to allow you to keep slugging it out on stage are the pieces that are being forgotten and not paid attention to. And
these are guys not getting emails on the weekend to give them all the tracks. Let me just say that.
Call back. That was well played.
All right, let's get to Sync of the Week. Would you like to go first?
I would. I finished Fallout. Did I tell you this?
No.
It is a fucking blast, my friend. It is worth the price of admission. It is a great fucking time, and the music in it is so well done, because it is that beautiful balance between that they kind of play with where it's like old timey sounding music in a bleak futuristic apocalyptic wasteland kind of thing. So it's like in the summertime I like to read books that make me sweat. I like to read The Gunslinger by Stephen King. I like to read Dune. I like to read The Sun Also Rises by Hemingway. There's books I like to read in the summertime because they really entrench me in that Dust Bowl, warm Colorado is kind of a desert kind of feel, right?
Yeah.
And there is a beautiful drop that happens a couple times in the series of So Doggone Lonesome by Johnny Cash.
Awesome.
And it's like like how they have a series of storylines kind of, but they're all going to coalesce at some point in time where the characters kind of meet on their adventures. It happens in the first episode, and it happens a few times throughout the series. And it is like, and every time you hear it, you are dropped in a fucking desert. It is so well done. It's beautiful. And that's Trygve Toven again, the supervisor on that. And it was just every time it came up, it made me very happy. But it happened throughout the series. So, good times.
Let me ask you this. Were you a fan of the game?
I've played the game a couple of times.
Okay.
But I don't really.
You don't think you need to be a fan of the game to watch the show, right?
No. And if I remember correctly, there are some Twitch streamers and gamers that are not happy with the direction the show took. I thought
Imagine
it was fun as fuck. I mean, it's like if they did, but here's the thing:
imagine a Twitcher not being happy about something.
If they did a Red Dead Redemption show that didn't kind of jive with how fucking cinematic that game was, I might have an issue with it.
I would
but
too.
I also I have the understanding that you do have to separate the IP a little bit, because if you have the show follow exactly what the game did, what the fuck point is there for you to watch it as a gamer?
Yeah, why watch the show?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. All right, I still haven't gotten into it, so I'm going to.
It's fucking great. I look forward to your opinions on it, especially as a gamer. I'd be curious.
Yeah, and I played it. I didn't get into it as much as everybody else, but I played it.
Yeah, it's a clever show. It's a clever game too. I like the concept.
And what's it on? Amazon?
It's on Prime, yeah.
Prime. Okay,
which they also have, I believe, is it Badlands is coming out as well on Prime? There's another game show
Sounds
coming
like
out.
it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited about all that.
Well, I was immersed in the Premier League this last weekend as we come to the end of all of my sporting. The Nuggets are out.
I know.
The Avalanche are out. Soccer's over. We have a high school baseball team here in Denver called the Colorado Rockies.
They have had a 5-game winning streak at this point in time. Go get your cheeseburgers at McDonald's.
Against St. Mothers of Mary School for the Poor. But, like, God, they're so embarrassing.
Kids
Every
with
time
one
I look
arm.
up, it's like Colorado 1, San Francisco 9. Colorado 2.
Wasn't there like wasn't there like a game where they lost by like it was double digits?
It was like 14, yeah. It was.
Yeah, it was.
I can't even
It
watch.
was harsh.
And yet, Coors Field is constantly voted one of the best places in the country to see a ball game because you're not really there for the baseball. It's a fun
definitely a place to get
nightclub.
drunk.
Yeah,
it's with the rooftop.
Expensive tickets for beer, but like it's pretty nice. It's pretty, and at sunset, it's lovely. Anyway,
agreed.
So my team in the Premier League is Liverpool. I'm a supporter, and
That's my boy right there.
And Jurgen Klopp. This was his farewell, and so Liverpool won the match.
Nice.
And they will be going through to the Champions League and all that. They're in the top 4 of the table, but we had no chance to take the Premier League. It came down between Arsenal and Manchester City, and Shitty won. And by the way, they won for the 3rd year in a row, and it's like or a 4th year in a row. Whatever it was, no Premier League team has ever done it before, and I fucking hate them. But anyway, Liverpool, it was a lovely event. So it's at Anfield, so it's at home, and the mecca of football and soccer. I know everybody wants to talk about Wembley, but it's Anfield. Anyway, at the end of the game, they set up this whole thing to where they were going to say goodbye to Jurgen Klopp. And this is kind of a different thing in European football where managers, when the manager is out, like they tell you, like we knew in December, this is going to be it for Jurgen Klopp. You also know when some of the players, when their contracts are up or they've been traded or they're going to be on loan to another team, you know at the end of the season what their fate is. A lot of times in other sports, you don't know that until the off season. And so they had this big long ceremony that was super. It was really cool. Showed respect to like Thiago and Magic, like all these people that are not going to be on the team anymore who were part of the championships. They walked them out. People sang songs. This is another thing I love about European soccer is they sing songs. Everybody has a song. It's a song. Now sometimes they're rip-off songs, but they all have songs. Well, it was just a lovely, respectful thing of Klopp and him saying goodbye, and the crowd got to say goodbye, and him welcoming the new manager by singing his song. Anyway, at the end of the match, while they were setting all this stuff up, there was this song playing in the arena. And I was like, and it wasn't You'll Never Walk Alone, which is like the song most known for Liverpool. But it was this other song that was like, God, and I couldn't really hear it, which means for you people that are following along, that's an ephemeral use. That means it's not part of the broadcast print, and so it's not paid the same way as someone who's had their music used in sports arenas all over the world. Yeah. It fucking sucks, because when you got 1 billion people watching a game, you should get paid a lot of money because they know your song is playing. But I digress. This song was called You To Me Are Everything, from a band called The Real Thing. This is an old soul song from the UK from 1976. It's their signature tune. Think kind of Cool in the Gang or Chic, that kind of fun sort of funk soul music. It hit number 1 in the UK for 3 weeks in July that year. And it's kind of a fan favorite in the UK. Yeah. It was used in a video to say goodbye to Klopp from LFC Club, from the club people. Yeah. And it is a fan. So if you care about this at all, you look it up. You To Me Are Everything from The Real Thing. And you have 80,000 people singing this song. Oh, I love it. And it's just great. It's just great. And so, look, I know that I'm more emotional about it because it's my squad, it's my coach, it's my manager. I get all this. But anyway, Phil Reed is the producer for Liverpool FC. Nice. And he's the one who chose this song for the video, for the outgoing video, like a farewell video to Jurgen Klopp. And so, anyway, that is my sync of the week, because it is used in this video, and it's got a bunch of hits on YouTube. It's an old catalog song. It means something to the people there. It's not just a needle drop that's like the latest new thing. There wasn't a tie-in with the artist. The artist wasn't there. It's just a great song being used for a great event, and it brought the perfect emotion. Oh, I love that. I love that. Did I ever tell you about the time I was out in I think it was in the middle of Nebraska playing, and we were playing one of our original songs, and there was this dude that was an up-and-coming professional wrestler. Ooh. And he wanted to use one of our songs as his walkout music. Love it. And I don't remember how far he went, but there was like the new faces of the it might have been the WCW at that point in time. Yeah. Where heard that song played, and I think we didn't have our shit together at that point in time, but yeah, that was before I signed you. I would have probably before I got that shit together. But yeah, that was a long time ago. That was a band with a redhead in it. Anyway, so hey. Solid fucking sync, man. Yeah, yours too. That was well played. All right, let's wrap this sucker up. Kelsey, thank you so much for joining us another time on this week. Hey, make sure to check out StuMillerMusic.com, StuMillerMusic.com. He doesn't have any time. He's going to be on a beach. I'm going to be on a beach. Email him during the weekend. Don't at me. You go ahead to StuMillerMusic.com and get like a little request in there, and he'll get back to you in a timely fashion. I will get back to you in a timely fashion. Because when he works with you, you are the focus. Yeah. Remember to rate and subscribe, download, give us 5 stars, leave a hilarious comment. No more comments on Apple Music or on Apple Pods. They've been shut down. Still nothing good. You can follow us wherever you follow people at 2ShotsMusicPod. That's the number 2 ShotsMusicPod. And you can email us 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com. And until we speak to you next time, we just hope you write a great song, right? Write a great song. We love you. We love you. Goodbye.